Good afternoon and welcome to the Porch broadcast. Well, we've been out this morning just doing some things, went out and had breakfast and went out and practiced our shooting skills a little bit and just now got home, and I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and make a video for this week. And I want to talk about something that has been, at least on social media, quite a bit in the last few days. More than one something, several somethings, but we're going to focus in on one particular subject and then we'll go from there. But we are living in an extraordinary time right now. Now, let me tell you why I say that, and I think you'll agree with me once you understand what I'm getting at. If you've been watching YouTube in particular, but anything even on the newscast, you've heard about the structures that they've seemingly found under the pyramids. Now, is that true or is it not true? I really can't tell you. Some believe that it is, some believe that it isn't. It depends on which camp you're talking to. But let's just assume that's real. That is a seriously worldview changing thing if that's real. Now, let me go just a little bit further in another direction. Just in the past few days, the CIA has put out some documentation concerning the Ark of the Covenant. Now, again, this is a world-changing thing. They seem to know maybe approximately where it is. And if that's the case, again, I take all this with a grain of salt. I don't know if any of this is real or not, but it's interesting that it's coming out at one time. But if that's the case, again, it's a world changer and somewhat of a history changer on both accounts. But we won't get into that today. We might later on a video, but not today. Now, we've just recently, over the past year, maybe 2 years, we've seen a lot of stuff on alien disclosure. Again, one of those things that depending on what camp you're in, whether you even believe it or not. But nonetheless, it's out there being talked about quite a bit. And it looks like that there may be a disclosure in the very near future. I think we're probably on what they're calling a soft disclosure right now. But we'll just watch it and see how it goes. And that's one part of it. Now, another thing I want to bring up, and I don't want to get hung up here because I don't want this video to be about fear, but just we need to think about some things. I didn't think that I would ever hear the ideal of nuclear war being so openly talked about and even threatened from various countries. And this is not about this country or that country. It's just that I want to bring up that people say that as if, well, that's just another one of the things to happen in the world. Guys, this ain't just a thing that's going to happen in the world. If it does happen, this could very well destroy the world we live in. But it's been talked about openly. World War III could be nuclear. Not going to get hung up on that, just something I want to talk about as far as the extraordinary things that are happening in the world today. And another one I want to talk about is AI. Now, I've named off 4 or 5 things here that are world-changing things, but I want to focus in on the AI thing this morning or this afternoon. Person may think, well, Paul, are you against technology? Oh, no. Quite the contrary. I am a guy that loves technology, and I like what it can do for us, but I also understand that there should be warning flags in some places. Now, you may think I'm going to a place here with this conversation that AI is not good. I don't know if AI is good or if AI is bad. Here's the way I look at it right now. Most things that we build are inanimate, and they do what it is we choose to do with them. If we choose to do good with them, they seem to do good. If we choose to do evil, then it's evil. And it all seems to be hinging on our consciousness and the way we approach the world and the way we approach technology and other things that are going on in the world. But having said that, let's talk about some of the things that AI could change. Now, here to me is maybe one of the better sides of it. If it creates programs, and again, I'm not an expert at this by no means, just a guy talking, but if it creates programs that can help us analyze information and make better decisions for the world, that would be a good thing, it would seem to me like. Now, if it has the ability to think for itself, learn for itself, and step outside of the boundaries of human control, that can be very problematic. Now, can it do that? I don't know. I'm not a computer expert. Some of these guys that are could probably tell you that, but I have listened to a few of them, and their concern is they say, we don't know what it might be able to do. Now, just recently on this AI thing, computers, they've just come up with chips, 2 or 3 or 4 companies have, that have just bypassed anything we've ever had by large uh, numbers in their capability to calculate. So now we're moving into an extraordinary time in that we may be able to create something that has the capabilities to the point that we don't even understand what those may be. And this is part of the warning that some people are coming out with. And I think we should watch that. I think we should think about that. I think about going full steam ahead on some things, and I think it's pretty dangerous to do. And I would warn anybody to be careful as we do things. If we don't understand it very well, we need to make sure that we do our due diligence and understand it the best way we can. Again, I'm not against AI. I'm not against computers. I use them all the time, and I actually like them, like what they're capable of doing. I've built my own programs at various times to analyze things that I work on and give me better information, and they work very well. I like algorithms, and I use algorithms a lot, and I've created algorithms to help make business decisions, and they work very well. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch on this and say, right now, we are in extraordinary times. We're in times that we have no answers for a lot of this stuff. We don't have answers about if that stuff under the pyramid is really true as to how that can be built or who built it. We don't have answers about World War III. Will it happen? Could it happen? What are the chances of it happening? We don't have answers about those. Those are unknowns. We talk about the aliens, and I've watched this supernatural stuff and studied it for a lot of years myself, just out of interest. We don't know what these things are or if they're even real. I suspect maybe they are. What are they? I don't know. We have a lot of unanswered questions for being human beings. And I would say that this might be a time that we would consider slowing down and trying to think out what we're doing. I don't think we will. It's not human nature for us to do that. I think we'll just go full steam ahead until it either does some really good things or does some really bad things. And I have a feeling with our reckless nature, it's probably not going to turn out real good for us, at least in some cases. But anyway, I want you to think about that. The world that you live in is, it's pretty unstable right now for a lot of reasons, as I've named a few of those to you today. And we may move in a direction pretty fast that could be not very good for us. And you'd say, well, Paul, why do you say all this? I'm going to say it this way. Think about who you are. Think about where you're at in life. Think about this. Think about if the world blows up in our face, where am I going to be when this thing's all said and done? Now, you may have some answers, and that's all right if you do. You should have. But I would at least think in terms of eternity. Where am I at? Is there some things I need to make right before I enter into eternity? You may say, I don't believe in eternity. Well, if eternity isn't real, it won't make any difference anyway, what you believe. If it is real, it's going to make an eternal difference. I would urge you to think about where you're at in that respect. Okay, guys, I guess I got off on my preaching soapbox just a little bit today. Didn't mean to do that, but let's think. We are in extraordinary times, and I want you to think of those few things I mentioned today and think about how extraordinary this really could be. Think about where you're at again. Try to make good decisions. We here at the Porch love you. We want the best for you. We put these videos out to help people, to provoke thought, and to try to help us move in a better direction as people. May God bless. Have a good day.